Good evening. No, it's not. It's not, no. You know, when you're in jail, a good friend will try to bail you out. But your best friend will be right next to you saying, damn, that was fun. I hate that fucking quote. 5 years ago, on a humid Monday night's midnight, my best friend arrived for a visit all the way from Dallas. Our long overdue reunion was a bold statement to the world that two human, male, 100% heterosexual, God-fearing men can and will fall in love with each other all over again. We cracked open some beers, sat on the porch, and celebrated the distance in miles between our two cities. It's about 420. It was his first time here in H-Town, so we ventured out and toured the area with a late-night jog and climb through Montrose. If you had been out that night at 2 in the morning, you might have seen two sprightly idiots running in shorts and white undershirts zigzagging on foot through dark neighborhoods. First, we only climbed to the top of buildings and houses that were under construction. We had a strict code designed by our trial and error to keep us out of trouble, a code we tested while growing up as rascals in the suburbs of North Texas and further refined by years of meticulous shenanigans in Austin, the code. Shortly afterwards, we broke the code and climbed a number of very attractive buildings in operation, including the vertical marquee of what was once an abandoned Hollywood video, but what's now known as El Real. Side note, the roof of El Real is slightly squishy. After making our way south of Westheimer, we stumble upon the Annunciation Orthodox Christian Private School, the surprisingly unlocked Orthodox Christian Private School. Somewhere deep in the school's archives, there is security footage from that night of a dynamically idiotic duo ping-ponging down the hallways, jamming on the choir piano, walking up and down the stairs while hula hooping and geeking out to picture books well below their reading level. Totally victimless. And from a legal standpoint, it couldn't have been breaking and entering since the doors to the school were unlocked. We'd only entered, and that doesn't sound so bad. Perhaps people enter places every day. If I find an unlocked door, then I'm going to enter it. That's the kind of person I am. I'd even hold the door open for you. However, from a law enforcement standpoint, we were bad little babies. After doing just about everything with the giant squishy balls in the gym, 3 squad cars assembled near the front of the school. So we bolted to leave from the back. The rear exit brought us to a narrow hallway with floor-to-ceiling windows. During business hours, it was an effective architectural innovation for funneling Orthodox Christian children to the outside world. Tonight, it was an empty, crystal-clear tube enveloped by the dead of night. As we hurried down the hallway nearing our exit, I glanced out the windows into the darkness and saw the unmistakable feminine eyes of a woman staring right back at me. But our serendipitous match was a tragedy from the start. We were from 2 different worlds. She, a police officer with gun drawn, trained in lethal combat and color-coded enforcement of the law. And me, a night-crawling, classically stoned prince of Montrose. True to her training, she jumped behind a brick pillar on the off chance we were armed, while we ran back inside on the off chance she was going to shoot us both in the head. Safe for the moment in the library, I turned and said to my friend, "We're fucked." 4 cops stood in line, waiting just outside the exit of our glass hallway. Each cop held a firearm. 4 guns pointed at both of us as we slowly re-emerged and showed our faces. Careful not to get pumped full of lead, we walked towards our boys with our hands raised in surrender. Shortly thereafter, I found myself face down enjoying an unprecedented access to the concrete ground. A new officer joined the scene. He was holding the reins to an unruly German Shepherd canine unit. "Oh, fuck, you got him already?" He walked over, letting the jabber-jaw canine just close enough to my neck for me to flinch. "You dipshits are so lucky. I was gonna let this guy loose inside. He would have torn you to shreds." While we were on the ground, ass up, Houston's finest confirmed the exact nature of our idiocy when a quick search revealed no stolen items and no damage to the property. Then one officer made a passionate plea to take us to jail. "No, man, these guys need it." Damn. Seems like everywhere you turn these days, there's a cop who is morally invested in your long-term development as a member of society. His zeal inspired me just as an early morning fire ant crawled up my nostril. Our trot through the Tros ended in cuffs and cruisers. Next up, a mystical, never-ending adventure through the good human criminal justice system. We found shelter in the drunk tank that night, where a diverse panel of 20 shit-faced, snoring men from all walks of life graced us with their regal presence. After sunrise and little sleep, the city of Houston jail welcomed us both, no problem. 4 to a cell, 5 if you count our toilet, which did have a colorful personality. We each had a bunk in the cell, and predictably, my friend and I chose the top 2. What is it about man's savage urge to climb every precipice, pass every peak, no matter the cost? Luckily, our cellmates were good, drunk little babies, and fast asleep on the bottom bunks. Atop our respective perches, I finally had some time to reflect on the night, and yet, I didn't think about my decisions or my perturbing need for illegal adventures. Nor did I dwell on how neither of us had any numbers memorized for phoning a friend, leaving us behind bars until a trial. Not showing up for work and potentially losing my tight-ass job didn't register on the radar either. I didn't think about the road ahead or the one behind. No, only 2 things occupied my sleep-deprived and battered brain. First, that trite, rosy-posy, shitty, cuddly Facebook quote about being in a lovely jail with your best friend after a night of getting turned. And second, how I had permanently ensured this stupid quote would mean something else for the rest of my life. Thank you.